Welcome to this episode of the ULTRALIGHT Review. I hope you all are doing well. What I have inside of this bag, everyone, is an ultralight cook kit that I've put together that's impressive not only in terms of power, but also in terms of size and weight. Not only is this kit functional, powerful, lightweight, but it's also very inexpensive. My name is Luke. This is the ULTRALIGHT Review. Thank you very much for tuning in. Everyone, let's take a look at the cook kit that I've put together. To start off, everyone, let's do a component breakdown. Let me show you all the components that make up this cook kit. When it's time to build your own kit, you can use any bag that you want to, and the same applies for the fuel. You will use the right fuel for the stove. The primary focus of this episode will be on these components right here. We have a lightweight, long-handled spoon, and I'll go into more detail about this in just a moment. What we have here is the cook kit, starting with the pot. This is the Petrel pot from FireMaple. On the inside, we have the stove. This too happens to be from FireMaple. And this is the GreenPeak stove. On the inside of this pot, we have a lighter, just in case. This stove does have an electric igniter, but you know how that goes. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Anytime you have a stove with you, you will need some sort of backup. Otherwise, one day you will be sorry. We have a 450 milliliter cup with some paper towels on the inside. And then on the inside of this pot, we have some more paper towels. The paper towels, you can use those for obvious reasons, but additionally, they do a great job of silencing the items inside of your pot from rattling around as you're hiking. This, my friends, is the ultralight and also inexpensive cook kit that I've put together that I've been testing out for the last couple of months. When it comes to the components here, you can see that this is a very simple system, but at the same time, it's also very functional. You have the pot, you have the extra cup, so you can cook in one, you can have coffee in the other. You have the long-handled spoon, which matches perfectly with most outdoor meals. And then we have the stove. Focusing on the pot here, the capacity is 20.2 ounces, or 600 milliliters. This is made from aluminum. It features a locking handle system that does feature a silicone grab handle on it. On the inside, we have measurement markings. And down at the bottom, this pot features a heat spreader. This is an uncommon feature. Yes, there are pots out there that do have this feature, but as a whole, finding a heat spreader, that is somewhat uncommon. Just in case you don't know what a heat spreader is, when you have a pot that has a heat spreader on it, it sits down on top of your stove. The flame from the stove goes up and it hits the bottom of the pot and then spreads out to those fins, heating them up. Supposedly this gives you faster boiling times and also spreads out the heat more evenly on your pot. When it comes to the cup, we do have butterfly handles on the backside. The capacity of this cup is 15.2 ounces or 450 milliliters, and that is filled all the way up right to the brim. And this is a very simple cup made out of titanium. With the two containers, the pot and the cup, you have a total capacity of 35.4 ounces or 1,046 milliliters. Now everyone, let's focus on the stove here. This is from FireMaple. This is the GreenPeak. It has foldable pot supports. We have the flame adjuster, and we have the built-in igniter. Up here at the head, this also features a partial windscreen. You can see here with the 3 pot supports, we do have jimping to hold your pot into place if you're using a pot that is different than the Petrel. This stove runs on isobutane and isobutane only. I almost forgot, the power rating of this stove is 9,550 BTUs. Next, everybody, we have the long-handled titanium spoon. This measures 8.5 inches long. You do have a hole up here at the top, so you can put a lanyard on this if you want to. And down here at the bottom, we have a polished bowl. Let's go ahead and let's put this cook kit together. The stove itself does not leak any gas at all when you're putting it on the canister. So once you have the stove on the canister, it is now time to put the pot on. Let me change the camera angle here so you all can see how this stove connects with this pot, because it's unique. The Petrel pot will only work with certain stoves. To get this pot to fit on this stove here, you have to have the pot supports line up with the holes. And just like that, the pot itself is now sitting on the stove, and it is locked into place. It's not going to fall off, nothing like that. It is extremely stable. With this stove and pot combination, let's go over the 2-cup boil times. We're talking about 16 ounces of water being boiled with this stove and this pot. The absolute best performance that I've been able to achieve with this combination here is about 2 minutes. To be more specific, 1 minute and 59 seconds to boil 2 cups of water. I did this time test inside of my house in controlled conditions. Do keep in mind when you're in the outdoors, the conditions are going to change every single time. We're talking about air temperature, we're talking about temperature of the fuel, we're talking about wind and breeze, and so on. So do take this with a grain of salt, but as far as like the best performance possible, we're looking at 2 minutes to boil 2 cups of water. And that is with using this stove and this pot here with a heat spreader. I did do a boil test time with a pot that had no heat spreader, and there is a difference. Again, to boil 2 cups of water with this pot here with the heat spreader, it took 2 minutes. To boil 2 cups of water with a pot that had no heat spreader, it took 2 minutes and 18 seconds. This testing shows that a heat spreader does in fact make a difference. But in the end, does it really make a difference to you? What is 20 seconds in the outdoors? Does being able to boil water 20 seconds faster make a difference to you? Does it matter to you? Only you can answer that question. With the cook kit that I've put together here, I've mentioned already that it's lightweight and inexpensive. Let's touch upon those stats real quick. The weight of the entire kit with every single component is 13 ounces. The pot with the lid weighs 5.8 ounces. The titanium cup, 1.9 ounces on my scale. The storage bag for the pot, 0.7 ounces. The stove with the storage bag is 3.1 ounces. The lighter is 0.6 ounces. The paper towels, 0.2 ounces. And lastly, when it comes to the spoon, 0.6 ounces. With this set, you have to purchase each component separately. The stove itself is only $20. The pot is $24. That gives us a total of $44 for the stove and the pot. With the accessories, the spoon is $10, the cup is $20, and that brings the total for this entire kit up to $74. I didn't factor in the cost of the lighter because I had the lighter laying around the house. Maybe you do as well. Now everybody, I'd like to focus on reviewing these two products here, the GreenPeak stove and the Petrel pot. Beginning with the pros here, the performance of this stove is very good, especially for the money. Next, the quality of both components is very good. There's no issues when it comes to quality here, rough edges, nothing like that, which is impressive considering the low prices of both of these components. The stove itself offers excellent simmer control. Just as you can easily crank this up and boil water, you can dial back the heat for simmering purposes. Additionally, with the stove, I like the fact that you do have some wind protection that's built into the stove itself. It does work, but in windy conditions, you will need some sort of windscreen. It's good for a light breeze, it's not good for full-on windy conditions. The built-in igniter has worked every single time. Plus, everybody, I love the way that the pot and the stove go together. That is very, very smart. At the same time, it makes for a very stable platform. You never have to worry about your pot falling off because it's physically impossible unless the entire thing falls over. With the pot supports, these are about 2.5 inches apart, and because of that, you can put any size pot, cup, or pan on top of this. Focusing more on the pot here, I like the fact that we have measurements here on the side, we have the lid, excellent grab tab up at the top, it also has the vent and drain holes. The handle here, the locking mechanism, works very, very well. It does a good job of securing everything when it's inside of this pot. And at the same time, when it's locked out in the handle position, it doesn't go anywhere, it's very stable. It offers good stability when you're holding the pot, I should say. Focusing on the heat spreader down at the bottom, it does indeed work. Does it make a huge difference? No, but there is a difference. Going back to the handle here, the fact that it has an insulator on it is huge. That way, after you get done boiling water in this pot, you can grab this, it's insulated, and from there you don't have to worry about burning your hands. I like that. Next, the overall weight of this pot is excellent, especially considering the fact that it's aluminum. This is very lightweight, even with the heat spreader on the bottom. When it comes to the storage bag, it is of an excellent size and quality. It easily fits this pot with everything inside of it with no issues. And lastly, everyone, when it comes to the pot and also the stove itself, the prices are excellent. That takes us over to the cons that I have for this system. Con number one deals with the fact that this is not the fastest stove out there. While the performance is good, it's not great, it's not exceptional. Again, this took 2 minutes to boil 2 cups of water. There are stoves out on the market today that can boil the same amount of water 30 seconds faster. How big of a con is that really depends on your specific needs. Now everyone, let's talk about the combo that the company offers. They do offer a kit, which includes a pot and a stove. But the thing is this, it's a terrible deal. The stove that's included is the Hornet, but honestly folks, I have no idea why you would choose that stove over this one. The Hornet stove does not have an igniter. This one has one that's built in. This stove is just a little bit larger, offers more BTUs, which is going to benefit you as far as heating and cooking goes, especially with this heat spreader. And the price of that kit does not make any sense. The price of that kit is $75. But if you buy this stove and this pot separately, you'll pay $44. Which one makes the most sense to you? I know which one does to me. This one. In the end, I do not recommend that you purchase the bundle that the company offers, as you can put together a kit that's much better, much cheaper, that's going to give you an igniter, better performance, and so on. Since I've already spoken about these components here, I'll give you the pros and cons of these as well. In truth, there really are no cons here, especially when you consider what you're getting for the money. Both of these components are inexpensive. This is very lightweight. This is very lightweight. This offers good capacity, good handles. What we have here is a long spoon with a polished bowl. It's nice to eat from, all that stuff. In the end, you cannot go wrong with this cook set that I've put together here. Now, I've mentioned I've been testing this out for the last couple of months, and it's really worked well for me. We're talking about a lightweight, compact system that's inexpensive. You can get all of these components for about $74 minus the lighter. In my opinion, that's a terrific deal. Everything here works as it should. The quality is good. I've had no issues. All in all, I can easily recommend this combination to you all. And that's especially true with the GreenPeak stove and the Petrel pot. In the end, everybody, that is the ultralight kit that I've put together. Make sure to sound off in the comment section down below. What do you all think about this kit? Are there any components that you do not like as far as this set goes? For myself, I like every single component. It all goes together very, very well, and it makes for a very lightweight, good performing, inexpensive package. If you have enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up before you go. I do appreciate it. Everybody, take care, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.